have our mission statement in here for the record, but basically our goal is to eventually be able to do with survey data what we can already do with EHR data. Next slide. So just a little review of last year. So we did form the survey group. We've had our 1-year anniversary, and we did launch and review the results from our landscape assessment. And we started working on use cases, but really what we're moving forward with for 2025 are trying to relieve some of the pain points that were described in the landscape assessment. And of course, eventually support would be helpful for this. Okay, next slide. So we decided our first grab at some low-hanging fruit is going to be trying to do some standardized mapping for high-use clinical surveys. And this is basically because these types of surveys cross both the clinical EHR environment and the survey environment. So we're hoping we'll have high likelihood of finding vocabulary and tools that are already in place that help us map these surveys, and we also hope to be able to use this to set up a pipeline for developing standardized guidelines, collaboration with the vocabulary and other groups that this work crosses, and then standardize this and share it out to the community. All right, next slide. Our other goal, and I've heard this from some other group leaders as well, is to continue to engage community contribution and involvement. So as we continue to develop, we'll have the ongoing goal of creating repositories for the mapping contributions or links to where other people have them. Eventually, we'd really like to do a webinar or workshop so we can discuss progress and share out best practices and get feedback, and also just make it as easy as possible for the community to interact with us. So as we get more experience putting together some guides to help everyone share out with us. Next. We also want to foster collaboration with our groups. As I've mentioned, we'll likely be working a lot with the vocabulary group, other groups within OHDSI, like the psychiatry work group, but also looking at other groups that have worked on harmonizing surveys. So Phoenix Toolkit, the behavioral project group for HL7, things like that. And then again, collate this information and share it out. All right, next slide. And then as a part of this process will hopefully result in the development of mapping tools and resources. Again, would like to have a pipeline for identifying tools or working with development of tools, and then pilot those tools as part of our process, and then be able to document and publish those, and again, share it out so we have some validated resources to share with the community. And next slide. And then, of course, this is not a sprint, it is a marathon. With the exception of the first objective, we know these objectives are going to be years in the making. And so at some point right now, we're functioning off of volunteerism, but it would be nice to be able to get additional support so we can move through the process faster. All right, next slide. And then I just want to share out my contact information and the group wiki. The results from the landscape assessment are posted on the wiki, as well as recordings and minutes from our meeting. So if you want to see what we've been up to, and if you would like to join us, we meet right now, we meet every other Monday. Our next meeting, I believe, is March 3rd. But we're trying to switch to a non-Monday time because we have to cancel a lot for federal holidays. So keep on the lookout, and when we change the time, we will share it out. All right, thank you.